Hello and welcome to this week's Capsule Cast. I am your host Destiny, with my co-host here, Oasis. That's your cue.
Hola.
And here we have our special
Yeah.
guest,
Hello.
Coach of Budokai, Havok,
Hello.
and we got an exciting week to show you, as this is the first week of the main 15 weeks of the season, and there were a lot of close ones for this week. So with that, shall we get prepared to go into week uh this week?
Yeah.
Of course.
All right. Here we have our first match with Earth Defenders and Budokai, and honestly, this match I thought went very back and forth, and if you could tell by the stats, definitely seems a bit more like ED were more evenly spread. But
Yamcha did do well at the start, but
mhm. Then just
Vegeta getting that max power combo into his Big Bang attack kind of shifted the odds into ED's favor
mhm.
for a while.
And if people don't remember, this Vegeta form of Big Bang attack is his ult. So and then, but hey, even with that, you brought it back and got your win.
Yeah, no.
So
Not gonna lie, I was biting my nails a little bit.
Yeah, like Havok was saying. Oh, why though? Your team's pretty much stacked. Like, in comparison to Earth Defenders, your team is stacked.
I mean, that is true. We got Yamcha.
Uh,
I mean,
uh, funnily enough, I was gonna say is that ED had quite a slow start. Yamcha taking 2 bars, and then Vegeta finally waking up to do massive damage, like I said, with that max power move combo. It seems like ED has a weird tendency of starting off slow, first 2 bars, not doing too much, and then actually doing things once they hit that yellow bar, red bar. And that seemed to be the leading cause of their loss here to you, Havoc. It seems like most of your characters are just aggressive from the get go. Or am I wrong about that?
Yeah, that's basically it. Uh, but the tags between 18 and Vegito, I think, is what sealed it in. Because we won by a bar, and they both tagged, regaining 2 extra bars for the team.
uh,
I don't know about that because it went tagged, but it really was not looking anywhere near close near the end of it. Like you had Ed- and Goku, last bar, Vegito tags. No, Vegito dies, and then 18 comes back in with overkill. So
Yeah.
I could be wrong, but I think the tag was unnecessary.
there was another thing I
I
think
Wait,
caused
how
ED's
did you
downfall.
prepare for this match?
How did I prepare for this match?
Oh, what do you think?
Uh, I
Oh yeah.
just I just threw out whatever characters would be good on a water map and called it good.
Considering how one of them's an actual android, and the
Once
other
an android, Tao has an alright charge in a water map, and the other two just punch people.
mhm. I definitely think another reason why ED lost is because Tien did his ult, but he waited so long between the first and the second fire of it that Vegito just did a Big Bang attack and deleted him for more than what the ult would have costed him.
That is true.
Funny moment,
That's
not
so
great
true.
from Tien though. And since this is also week one,
Uh,
we have FA benches now, and the FA benched Kid Q, if I'm correct.
Yep. We
Uh,
FA benched Kid Q, and I believe Earth Defenders FA benched Ginyu, if I'm not mistaken.
yeah, I don't think they're FA
You
benching
are
Ginyu.
correct.
ED is one of the only teams I think
But
will
we'll
never bring out their FA.
tragically imagine Ginyu alongside Mikoku.
True,
I do.
but
Right.
this is
But Havoc, why
much more.
did you? Oh, sorry. Havoc, why did you end up benching Kid Goku over Fidel?
Because Vegito is running the attack +1 that we normally have on Kid Goku, and Yamcha's running the attack +2. So it wasn't a matter of Videl or Kid Goku, it was more of a matter of Yamcha or Kid Goku or Vegito or Kid Goku. Because Kid Goku really
Well,
doesn't
after this
work on anything
performance,
else.
Gotcha. I
Yeah.
mean, after this week, do you think you might have to switch him in, going down the line?
Who knows? Yamcha did fine, and he was going against the Vegeta, so you can't really count that out too much. But at the same time, he did also kind of die all at once.
That's just the nature of defense man's characters.
This is true.
But
So we'll just have to see.
I think one other thing that needs to be mentioned. Technically, it's funny how in the first week of the main season you go against a team that you actually loaned a character to, and both of them were in this match. Enku for Yamcha.
Yeah. Looking at the stats, it looks like Enku was the better loan, but
Look, I think looking at them overall, Enku might be better to keep, but you never know. It's only week 1.
this is true.
But with that, shall we get moving on to match 2?
Sure thing.
Alright, thank God. Thought I cut out there. Moving on to match 2, we have Rugrats and GT, which ended a lot closer than I thought it would, especially with Grandpa Gohan not doing a whole lot, unlike how he did the previous week in the preseason.
I'm surprised it even got this close with how much Kid Trunks was spamming his big tree cannon.
I'm pretty sure he did 3, but he only hit 2. But
And GT Goku backstepping Aureli's ping was huge for them.
that was not her ping, that was her ult.
Was that her ult?
If he backstepped the ping, he would have still been hit.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Because fun fact, you can backstep rushes, and they just stop. But I think the better thing was he backstepped, then immediately just counterattacked with the ult. Sadly, though, since outside of Super Saiyan 4, he's a child, he has a defense minus, and that's not what you want versus the attack Aurelie build. So no matter how much he spams,
You
she
say
just...
that, but he still did.
He still did his damage.
Right. I mean, still, he did take a lot of damage. Exactly. He did so much damage to her. That's the only reason why it was close. Like,
Well, that and,
and
and
he
Omega
might.
tagging.
It's funny because I was actually talking to Sal about that earlier. How Omega isn't too big of a threat, and then he brings up this match. How essentially Omega still, him and GT Goku obviously brought this match back to essentially even. And
At the start, it was going GT's way,
just a,
and then Kid Trunks kind of just fired his way into the lead.
yeah, pretty much. But I mean, I expected this to be a lot bigger of a lead on Rugrats' part, I was not expecting this to be as close. Tags or not.
Now, I definitely think the Rugrats coach was not, he was stressed when this match was getting to just Omega and Cell Jr. And since Omega has that defense EL
So
late
was everyone
energy
else.
build,
Yeah, honestly, we're kind of expecting Cell Jr. just to drop the ball at the very end. But GT scooched by with the win.
Well,
GT could be
Yeah,
scary
but
this year.
mhm.
That was their weakest lineup, and they
they can.
showed up.
I feel like their weakest one has another member in over Jiro, which honestly won't happen, but like if both Grandpa and Jiro were in, that would probably be their weakest, but
Isn't Jiro FA benched?
oh no, yeah, he is, but he can always come in for someone else.
He is.
That's true.
Bro, who would he come in for?
Baby, obviously.
Like, oh yeah, you're right. It's one drunk night, apparently. Yeah,
Also-
no. This was probably the best match of the week, if I had to say it, just because of how close it was, and how much back and forth there was. Yeah.
Uh,
I think there was a better match, but we'll get to that a little later.
I think
in
there
these
was
slides.
like one or two better matches. One I know is either next or later in. Actually, both of them are probably later in the week, but there's at least one match that I liked more than this one. Even though seeing Omega almost clutch it out for 2 weeks in a row was kind of nice.
After being what, bottom of the
Exactly.
bottom of the league like preseason.
Yeah, because he's been getting dumpstered. With that, shall we get moving on? Because I'm pretty sure we all said a piece, and there's not much to really say on this match, even though it's just a nail biter, and GT's looking impressive.
Let's do it.
Alright. Moving on, we have match 3 of Derp and Boojins.
Great match.
There's only one thing I got to say here, other than this was actually relatively close for, you know, how it was. And I think the only reason it was close is because Evil Boo was comboing Hercule, and mid-combo, Hercule decides to, you know what, I'm not getting comboed, take a present bomb for 10k.
I mean, the same can be said in like Derp's case when Dodoria went for what was it? What's his like crash thing? Similar to Ping.
It was his ping thing, but it was against a super explosive wave ult, which we definitely need to make that a short, but you know.
It was quite a funny moment, I will say.
I'm pretty sure max power.
True.
I'm pretty sure ult super explosive waves have a sort of invincibility around the center, because if that was a normal one, Dodoria would have ran right through it.
Yeah, I didn't know explosive waves were
Yeah, you're
there was
probably
some
right.
that were invincible.
Actually, no, wait. It wasn't even because of ping. It was because of false courage that she did before.
Yeah, the false courage allowed him to get the ping off, and
literally
then
the only way she'll be able to get it off.
That's. I mean, that probably could have something to do with it. It's not the ping nor the super explosive wave. It's false courage's interaction with it. Who knows?
all I know is it was a funny moment.
The fact they did no damage.
Bope kind of just made Kui not exist.
Yeah, which honestly, from what I'm seeing, a lot of people are starting to actually see a big threat in Spopovich, and I know you really want him, but you're never getting him.
We won't get him until Boo sees something worth of value over Spope.
You mean over Bobbity and Spope?
Yeah. It's
But-
sad, but you know,
If Royals
got a
ever
lot of
if Royals
options.
ever gave up Dabra, I guess. Or if they
if
or if they get
RW gave up Macho.
It's never.
I don't know if they're. I mean, to be fair, if RW gave up Maju,
Yeah, they.
you'd probably be going for it more than Spoke.
This is true.
Now,
Yeah. I mean, Bujins can't even get back Maju,
I mean, they can.
and Bobity's not back there.
Why haven't
Oh,
you
they
used
can?
him yet?
I thought they were banned from him.
No, they're not banned from him. He was just he's still on the master list. He can still be sent to booze. He just was sent off of RW. He was just sent off to RW for reasons.
Fair enough.
But I mean,
But I will say, I am proud of Bujin able to make Spopovich work.
can we just say that Majin Buu has been turning around as of recent?
I wouldn't say that. He's no longer the dead weight he used to be, but
I
I
mean,
wouldn't say turning around just yet.
technically, depends whether you want to value your EL on someone else or not.
Kind of always just
Yeah,
been
that
that
is-
character that lives and dies by his B2 hidden.
Also, fun fact. Apparently, Evil Boo has more melee damage than Majin Buu. So yeah, that's the thing.
You mean Tapu?
No, yeah, Evil Boo has
I mean,
more.
yeah, sounds about right.
Yeah,
Evil
yeah.
is stronger.
Well, pretty sure most of Tapu's B2s are stronger. Just he has better melee. I don't know. But anyway, this was just a really close match, and
I think they're about the same.
but
This didn't feel close to me.
no, this was really close because you also have to remember Turk and Salsa. If they do want to do their tag game, they definitely will do their tag game and bring a match closer than what it seems.
That is true. I'll give you that much.
I mean, anytime someone does a tag game with Herc, it becomes very, very scary. That man hits.
I think anytime someone does a tag game with a savior user that has like good B2s and an ult or just an ult that threatens people, it's scary.
Boy, whenever Cold does it, we all quiver a little bit.
Whenever Cold does it, I'm just like, okay, so I'm
A
about to
little
see
bit.
6 blast stocks, 5 supernovas.
That's when you already mark it down as a loss for your team.
Unless it's like they tag into a character that doesn't have it, either KSA or Savior.
This is true.
But anyway,
Pro, but
Don't
they
move
all
on.
have it this season.
shall we move on
Yes,
since we're
yes, we
technically not
can.
talking about the match? All right, now this one, match 4 RW versus Kaiju was not close.
Yeah, Bardock kind of came in swinging for the fences.
Bardock came in saying, "I'm not Bardock of old. I'm Bardock of now."
Nearly got Kaiju an elite.
Yep. I mean, I'm not saying RW didn't try, because like I think they definitely took out Adult Gohan. It was just when Bardock be hitting, he be hitting hard.
I honestly think they bench Yajirobe and bring in Majib, and that's their best team.
Oh yeah.
I
Well, actually, we can get to that later.
I don't even think Kaiju brought their best team considering Nappa's not in.
Actually, if you're going off like a lot of the stats recently, I'd say this is their best.
Isn't Turtles worse than Nappa?
Oh.
Really?
But
I haven't
they're,
seen much of Turtles lately.
to be fair,
Really?
well, I mean, Turles has been like his 40k to 50k. The one we haven't seen much of is Nappa. We saw Turles, I think, in almost every week of the preseason, except maybe one.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
All I know is that drop for Raditz to Turtles seems like it's working pretty well for Kaiju.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. And more importantly, can we talk about Scouter Vegeta picking out his, end of series counterpart?
That is true. We did get a Vegeta versus a Vegeta.
We now
And how we
learned
know
which
who better
Vegeta
Vegeta
is better.
Oh
We
yeah.
all knew Scouter Vegeta
Although,
was superior.
Oh no, yeah, it's obviously Kid Vegeta.
Wait a minute. If we're talking about Vegeta, so we must ask the other guy with the Vegeta. That is Macho. The guy who came at freaking nowhere.
Hello.
Macho, what's up?
Yeah. Hello, Macho.
Nothing much. Nothing much. Just got home.
Bro, of course you show up.
Let the dogs outside. Important.
Just got
Important dogging.
Oh,
Nice.
we're on match 4.
Yes.
of course you come
Yeah,
up
and my it's actually very impressive to see Bardock like this. I feel like the past 2 seasons of this new league, we've always been constantly disappointed. It's like, man, who do you think is the best character on Kaiju most of the time? It's Bardock. Bardock, he has crazy melee, and the melee actually combos really easy to the beat too. So you're like, oh, it's always Bardock, and Bardock has been like a disappointment for them. But to see him come out.
Hello.
Feel like
Did
they
he
definitely
die?
have.
Discord like died for a few seconds.
Yeah, I said they're definitely happy about that.
Honestly, I can definitely see that for both Scouter and Bardock. Like they're the two members like you think of Kaiju, you instantly think of, and it's like we've seen Scouter 1v3 teams, we've seen Bardock 1v3 teams. But they've also both been sometimes the downfall of their teams. Wasn't like
We've also seen Adult Gohan 1v3 teams.
Well, I'm just talking their base roster though, not FA.
Yeah.
Because wasn't there a time last season where Bardock was
He's
literally
not
the
wrong,
worst
though.
character? Oh yeah, he's not. Honestly, the fact that they don't have Adult Gohan on Savior, because if he's on base form, he can go up to Super Saiyan and have Savior for bros. It's just they figured out, just lock him Super Saiyan, just have him do his thing.
He does do a lot in that Super Saiyan. His spamming potential is just off the charts. And it just hits so hard on top of it.
I know me and Anthony, who's not here, we're talking about which form of Gohan is better, Super Saiyan 2 or Super Saiyan 1. For Super Saiyan 2 for teen, Super Saiyan 1 for adult. And we both agreed adult Gohan's better just because like Explosive Madon and he has better and the full power charge for 1. Like that's just deadly.
Even his barrage is like amongst the best of the barrages.
I'm pretty
Just
sure
because of how easily it is for him to get back the key that he spent on it.
and you can full power charge and charge up to an ult, even though that, technically it's 2 bars.
Yeah, but it's so quick that it doesn't even matter that it's 2 bars.
Now, in regards to Resurrected Warriors, though, it's kind of weird, especially after last season, seeing them being so dominant, taking L like this.
Like,
They were kind of like this in the preseason too, where they either destroyed the other team or they got kind of destroyed.
I mean, in half the free preseason, they used General Blue.
That is true.
But I mean, it is kind of hard, even for our dub. I think it's hard for any team when Scouter, Bardock, and Adult Gohan are just firing at all cylinders.
Yeah. Very, very strong team.
Also, can we just say, Scouter Vegeta ult? That's like the one rush ult I see hit like more than anybody.
Because he uses it so much. I think he uses it more than his 4-bar V2.
Well,
He
I-
loves his and I know Kaiju hated it, but he loves using Dirty Fireworks.
doesn't Dirty Fireworks have a little bit of tracking?
I think it does.
Just a tiny
maybe
bit.
a tad. Yeah.
It has a lot of
That probably definitely helps as to why.
It's also one of the few 4-bar ults. So it is an ultimate, but it does only cost only 4 bars to keep.
It's I think we kind of said everything needed to be said, and also introduced Macho. A little late, but you know, happens. Because this was just the one match of the week that's like, you can't blame RW.
Yeah, they kind of were
mean,
put up
kinda
against the
can.
mountain.
Specifically, I mean,
I
they
feel
used
like
to be the mountains, so
I agree with
what can
Destiny.
you
I
say?
feel like the numbers are very deceiving. Like if you look at the stat sheet, it looks pretty bad and skewed for Resurrected Warriors. But honestly, I think it was like a lot closer than the numbers tell for quite a bit of the match. Like it didn't seem like they were getting too destroyed about how little damage they were doing. Yajirobe probably, but the rest, it seemed like they're almost taking their man. But
Definitely
it
say at the
happens.
start, before Gohan started doing his Madons, it definitely seemed like it could have gone either way.
And then Bardock showed up and ruined the party.
I mean,
Yeah,
fair.
but I think we're good to move on from this match.
Alright, well, moving on to match 5, we have Cold Kingdom versus Muscle, and just say, no, that's not Cooler doing bad.
This was the best match of the week.
That's the rest of his team doing well, but then Selfish tagging him in.
I want to say, Devilman really pulling his weight.
Yeah. Another thing that can be made a short of this week. Be a lot of shorts this week, but Bojack doing his full power, tagging into Devilman versus King Cold, who apparently, according to Hey Ryan Let's Play, one of our commentators and the guy who does the stats team, is apparently the person with the most evil on Cold, or the one that will just get hit the most without any like defense plus Pataras. And you can probably guess what Devilman did.
Man hit him with a 38,000 points attack.
You can't even blame King Cold at that point. He's 3 health bars and immediately dead.
I mean, he did also get Bojack down to 2 bars before, or down 3 bars before going out, so he did fine. Despite him getting one-tapped, he still did what he needed to do.
I think
And then in came Zarbon.
No, then came in Frieza.
Was Frieza after?
Frieza was after.
Yeah.
Yep. Frieza was after.
Frieza was after, and Devilman decided, I'm not going to beat you anymore.
And tragically,
Oh yeah, that's
he's
right.
Devilman did his job.
You know what's funny? I think Devilman did more than Garlic did this week with Melee.
38,000 minus 42,000. About the same.
About the same.
Close enough.
And then like
I mean, they both have historically bad melee, so it's definitely a see who's the worst kind of race.
and then it's like apparently this was the 1 week Zarbon wanted to, say, hey, I can pull a Bardock too, or hey, look at my pretty face. And then just destroy Trunks, which I don't know about the rest of you. I definitely thought when Trunks was coming in, we'd at
Gonna
least be
get
given a better
caught up.
match.
Of all the people to kind of just dismantle muscle like that, Zarbon was the last person I would have ever expected to do it.
And base Zarbon, matter of fact.
I feel like they might have found something with base Arbon though. It's in a monster, you always relied on the 16 kind of build. Like you have the attack +2 and then you have the grab. But I think Zarbon actually has the base Zarbon has a more complete kit, and I think that's what they found.
Oh no, yeah, I think if you talk cold, because what is it like? Base Zarbon has a few better B2s than monster. Like he has the the shooting star arrow or whatever it's called, which is I think one of the better barrages since it's like so close together that it can hit almost any sort of range.
Yeah.
The only thing that sucks with it is its damage output. I think it's like the lowest damage output.
I mean, yeah, but I don't think it costs that much. So that means you can just spam it.
Havok, Trap Shooter would like a word with you.
True, Trap Shooter is technically a barrage.
Trap Shooter's the best barrage. I don't want to hear it.
Actually no, the best barrage is 17's double ball.
Whoa. Hellzone grenade.
That's not a
That
barrage.
is true. Hellzone grenade, like a word you have it.
No,
Trap was like, Shooter. nah, bro.
Trap Shooter is built for Hellzone grenade.
Trap
Just
zone,
one.
trap zone grenade.
The ultimate trap shooter.
There you go.
Trap Shooter grenade.
And let's not forget Energy Ballet from Flapjack.
No, that's the worst. Okay, that's the worst. I'll take Trap Shooter over that any day.
Yeah, so anyway, yeah, Zarbon really went off that week. Sorry, continue. Oasis, what were you saying?
Oh no, how to say anybody's SB2 can ever exist.
Zarbon just kinda was goated this week.
Yeah, he was. It was very impressive.
Will he keep it up
Like,
next week? That's the question.
I don't know. Maybe he might not even be in next week. Who knows? But I have to say, at least I'm gonna give it to BoJack. He did his work. Did try to bring out the King Cold, and he did pull up a solid fight and ruin Cooler's stats.
Oh yeah.
Speaking of which, or do we no longer have a rip stats section?
I forgot we did those, and I completely forgot that Cooler did like nothing because he got tagged in. Because the other two people who we can get to later that did almost as much, or if not like a little bit less, than Cooler just kind of got destroyed, not just ripped. Well, I guess
fair enough.
going on to that, can we?
So, non-rip stats.
Shall we move on to match 6?
Yeah.
All right. Moving on, we have match 6, and this is what I thought was the best one of the week. Just because it's the two 4-0 teams from preseason sticking out in the first week and bringing it within a bar difference. It's nice to see Jiren again. I thought this was the best match. I don't have much to say of this match because it was just way too close and way too action-packed, apparently.
I think a lot of the problems Sentai had going into this match was starting Tao into Metacooler, because Metacooler kind of just countered Tao,
Mhm.
and you can kind of see that with
Stats.
yeah.
I mean, both Metal Cooler and Murkow did tag at around 2 bars, or almost
Yeah,
their last.
I think it was 2 bars.
Well, they both had 2 bars when they came back in.
Mhm.
I think so Macho, Vegeta, and Jiren, technically what should be both teams' best character, like in terms of what the character does, what the stats are, both doing around the same damage. So, certainly something to behold. Let me just say, Slug though, basically going through 2 characters on his own.
Well, he clutched the match. It was his match to. It was because Sentai really, especially with Sandman's performance, he made it. They made it so it was definitely Sentai's match to lose, and Slug just being able to. I view Slug and another character, one of my characters, Tien, very similarly because you put him on a heavy defense and you want them to throw out the B2s. And when he was in Giant form, he just kept doing the Dark Discipling just over and over again. It was
It
crazy.
Jar was insane with it.
Yeah.
Is Slug on defense? I know he has EL and I know he has other spam throws.
No,
I
he's
just don't
not.
remember. I don't.
It might be a key build, but I think it's the same point. Eternal Life is basically just it's another form of defense as its sustainability, but it makes you allows you to take more damage than you usually would. So it acts as almost as bit as defense. So
Yeah, and then it also can allow, like, say if your character messes up a little bit, then to bounce back and do the damage. Which
yeah, which
which
is honestly
I
pretty
can
good
say that
for
now, but the problem is
B2.
here is that the Bora. True.
Funny-
But the problem is here that entire situation is the Bora is the one with DL, and he got slaughtered. He,
fair, yeah.
as you can see with the stats, unfortunately, he didn't do much. Yeah. The
Ju-
EL, while you are both correct, it does give a lot of room for error. Sometimes it
Oh
just
yeah,
isn't enough, especially when the matchup is just so.
I'm gonna be honest. I've seen EL and Slug
Yeah.
so many times. I forgot it was on Deborah. And honestly, uh, looking at the stats here, with how Jace and Kyle did, I don't think people would have expected to be within like basically 1v2 ended the match. Because
I mean, you say that, but considering how much health Slug had to get through to get to that point, I mean,
no, yeah, I
it
understand.
was still an uphill battle.
No, yeah, I understand that, but it's like if you're just looking at the stats, because like Majin and Vegeta did basically almost more than Jace and Tao combined. Which
Yeah, sure, that's true.
But yeah, honestly, going
I
back
mean,
to
yeah,
what.
essentially was just a 3v2 at the end of the day.
Mhm. Also, Oasis,
But
your audio's getting
yes,
like
yeah, and it's
worse.
like so laggy. Like I've been talking for like 20 seconds, and then you still don't hear me, and then you start talking.
Mhm. Yeah.
but unfortunately, internet connection here is spotty due to the storms.
Ah.
Oh,
Well,
I'm what do we do? Like,
I mean,
because it's
if you want to go, you can go.
me or
Yeah,
No,
probably for the best.
Oasis.
yeah.
Yeah. So it was nice having you on, my guy.
Yeah. I didn't long it.
Yeah.
Thank you. But I'll take my early leave. See y'all later.
All right. Alright. Oh,
All right. Refresh.
Yeah, I'm not restarting this.
All right.
Going back to what you said earlier, Macho, I was basically going to say, right, like right before you said it, that Slug is basically how Tien mostly works for you, but for
Yeah.
Royals. And
Yeah, I feel that they're quite similar in that regard.
I think Slug is just a little bit better because like Giant Form kind of, just has certain properties to it that can allow a character to work. Also, a giant super explosive way that does like 10k, you can't scoff at.
Yeah, I feel like you can make arguments for either. Like,
No, yeah.
Slug, honestly, maybe kid wise, might have the edge. You can make that argument. But I think statistically for the last 2 seasons, Tien has just been incredible.
Mhm.
If you put him on a little bit of charge or just straight defense and relying on his B2s, it works. But yeah, but each of the characters usually have the same idea of how you want to build.
But with that, shall we get moving on?
Oh, yeah.
Havok, you good?
Yep.
All right. We have match 7, and oh boy, this one started off really well.
14.
Yeah. So, for those that may be wondering why we said that, Teen started versus Janemba, and like how Oasis said before he left about EL not necessarily saving a person, that was definitely the case here. Because it's a attack +2 high static character versus a defense minus character that can't dish out as much damage as he's taking.
Yeah. In my mind, before I want to start talking about how, even though he started, how Teen did bad, I will point out one thing, and this because I love this character and I was on this team, and it's like really cool. Future Gohan was coming out averaging about 60,000 the preseason. Once again, performing really well, which is like really shocking because Future Gohan is known as like extremely inconsistent character. So it's wild to see that.
I'm happy that he's doing well. Future Gohan, I think, other than Sword and Teen, would probably be my favorite on hybrids to
Yeah.
watch. But yeah, he came in, did an evil barrier, Janemba hit him, maybe a couple more, did like a bar to him, and then Teen just fired his way through Janemba.
Or yeah, Future did. Yeah, Teen didn't do well at all. Teen was had a rough week.
I think the crazy thing about this match was that despite Teen Gohan being just completely nullified, it still came down to Fosh's last 2 bars.
Which
Yeah, the other characters pulled their weight on hybrids.
Which is quite funny because it was Fasha versus Sword Trunks. And lately with hybrids, they've been having Sword Trunks back on spam, but he's been really doing well with it. And you want to know what Sword Trunks decided to do? Melee. Fasha.
Yeah, it's the Sword Trunks special on that one. He never truly does what he wants in the build. It's always been a curse of Sword Trunks. That's why it was interesting their builds last season for Sword Trunks. They actually went full melee on him, which actually seemed to work. But you know, there's other characters now. Like they're using Nam, who you probably almost always have the attack Batara on Nam. So it's more and Ultimate Gohan, you probably usually go attack. They usually go attack on him as well. So Sword Trunks has less opportunity at the attack Batara. So
And I think even without Nam, Kid Gohan also normally uses the other attack Batara.
yeah, he can
This
too.
is true.
So yeah, less opportunities. So you put him back on the key build, and then you get to see classic Sword Trunks just go. You know what? I won't do what I'm built for.
And still somehow work.
Yeah, it does.
But yeah, this one for me, since my team is Cinema, was definitely a nail biter. But That's
It's
that.
interesting to see that Broly didn't do too hot during like the preseason, but this
He
main season match he came out and showed that he was a worthwhile trade deal.
uh he actually hasn't been doing hot during when we were testing him, and every main season match, not main season, preseason match he was in, except for against Bujins. So from that onward, he's been. I know it's only 2 matches, but he's been looking better, doing his 50, and both on 2 separate builds.
Yeah, it's good to see Broly doing well. That was probably the loan of the off season. You know, one of the big ones. So
Garlic
very
Rift.
interesting.
It was
Not a
definitely
lot of people thought it would go through either.
it was definitely the one that caught most people's attention because there were, of course, there were other loans like you two did, End and Yamcha, Havok with RW did early in 18, which have been done before, but this
Yeah,
one was definitely the one that like most people glared at. And considering how Garlic's doing on Muscle, I'm saying it probably is worthwhile. Though I do feel bad for Muscle. And
yeah, it happens.
it,
No character's too consistent, especially one on a key or super build, and
mhm.
sometimes it just falls through.
Especially when they're forced to transform into something that's way worse than the base form.
Yes.
But I wanted to roll back a bit and go to the EL topic we were doing earlier, which is we have it on Gogeta, who in this match was kind of getting knocked around, but like as we were talking about earlier, EL allows that person to like bounce back. That's basically how he did his almost 50 the K this match.
Yeah. Well, it just shows how important of a Patara it is, even though there's only one of them and it's a 4 slots.
Mhm.
If join our Discord if you want to participate in DBZ League, but it
Mhm.
was a while back where the community participated in a poll to see which Bataras each of the yellow Bataras is a must-have or is the best on characters, and I'm pretty sure Eternal Life was semifinals, so top 4, if not top 2. So extremely important Batara that will probably always be on a character on either team.
Unless and it's basically like one of the only bans I ever see on people is this character's not allowed eternal life if a so and so.
Yeah, that and like KSA, but yeah, it's
That
definitely
KSA and like high tension are like the 3 that I see. Or and of course the rush blast stars, but those are for a specific group of people.
yeah. So a very strong Batara indeed. But
Mhm.
yes, overall I would say barring Team Gohan, hybrids all carried their weight, but Cinema ultimately pulled it out with a strong Janemba lead.
Mm.
Havok,
Yeah.
you have anything to add more about this match?
No, I think I've covered everything.
I have one more thing to say.
Oh, of course.
Uh,
What you got?
Broly actually probably could have done more if it wasn't for one thing, and that being the map. The map bounced him, and since he was in Legendary, he's very big, right? And
Yes.
Nam was doing his cross arm attack, which killed him during the bounce.
Yeah, I mean, you guys famously used that map for the last 3 seasons, and definitely a very interesting map. There's a lot of janky stuff that can happen, so you get what you pay for.
But hey, very good to see Legendary Broly every now and again, right?
Yeah.
But anyway, shall we get moving on to match 8?
Yep.
I found the Patara poll thing that Macho was talking about.
Alright.
The top Pataras that everyone voted on was Eternal Life as the best, and then
Thought so.
Savior, followed by Dende's, and then the Rage Pataras.
Yeah, the 2 healing Pataras being out there makes sense, and EL being the best makes a lot of sense.
It's just one of those Fatars that if you can't fit it on anyone on your team, you kind of feel like you're struggling.
What, Yale?
Yes.
Or, if everyone is it, or, if everyone wants it, who do you give it to? Because
Yeah,
that's certainly the
that's a
predicament my
cinema
team
problem. Yeah, that's a cinema problem.
had.
right there.
Because it's also one of the main reasons we dropped tier lists, but,
It happens.
But,
I think there's an argument that every single one of your characters could run EO. So yeah, it's definitely
oh,
definitely
that's just an
definitely
argument
unfortunate.
for any team. Like, any character can run EO.
Nah, there's a lot of like defense minus characters and bad melee characters. You would argue not.
Well, I mean, even the melee character. I mean, technically they all can run EL. It's just, do you want EL on them? It's the
Oh,
ultimate
that's what I'm
decision.
saying. By if you, it seems like Basha's a defense character with melee. You probably EL would work fine on her. Gogeta work fine. Janemba would work fine. Zenkai is a weird one, but you could also make the case to put her on defense and EL. That's what I mean. Like all these characters can legitimately run EL as a solidified build, and they has probably had EL at one point.
I think because they had EL on Teen, right? I definitely think it can work. One, just don't start him. And two, I guess, if you wanted to do that, try to like test it a little bit more or something.
Yep. But I'm good to move on.
Same.
All right, moving on. We have match 8, our final match of the week, but not the final slide, as most of you probably know if you watch. With Namek versus Androids, and just like a teen situation, kind of hard for Androids the starter, which was Super Perfect Cell, to do anything versus Late Piccolo when Late Piccolo wants to fire out on all cylinders.
I will say this is one of those matches that the stats don't tell the full story.
They really don't.
Because if you look at these stats, it kind of looks like androids might have won, but
Yeah. Uh, but if you look at like the
that's far
score,
from the case.
if you look at the score, there's a reason why I put Piccolo in the back there.
I feel like this may be a hard take for some people. Like everyone has their own opinion, but I don't think there has been a better character starting this season, last season, and the season before, the 3 seasons of the new DBZ League. I think Late Piccolo is the best character. Has been stat wise, has been the best character.
I will only contest you on before playoffs of the 2020 season. After playoffs, I have no idea what happened. He just skyrocketed.
So it wasn't just after playoffs because that was round 1 was famously versus team I was on was hybrids of that year.
Oh yeah.
And he double elited us by like 120,000 both 2 matches and beat us.
Oh yeah. Honestly,
and it was against Ultimate Gohan and Teen Gohan. It was
against like at the
gives me
time.
nightmares.
It was at the time, and still now, people think are your like 2 best characters, or not your. Well, you're on ED now, but Hybrid's 2 best characters.
Yeah.
I think just Late Piccolo has always been one of those sleeper characters that he just because he's Piccolo, no one's like, oh my gosh, he's so strong. But then he just starts throwing out those light grenades one after another, and you're like, okay, we're probably gonna get swept by this guy.
Or if he hits those special beam cannons, and
yeah,
sometimes he hits a rare Hellzone grenade that like either full hits or will hit for a chunk. But the melee into light grenade, or as I like to call cherry bullet combo, is very strong. Especially since I don't remember how much light grenade costs, but it does a lot without any like actual damage for it.
I will say they did take out one of the teams that a lot of people are kind of scared of because of their lineup, and they didn't even have their best lineup to do it. They brought one of their weakest, not quite their weakest.
Androids?
No,
Oh,
Namek.
Yeah.
Actually, I would kind of say early Piccolo is their weakest. He's been not performing even during the preseason.
Yeah, it is definitely a weaker lineup, especially since Nail had a pretty scary preseason as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I definitely think you put Namek versus a lot of these teams with just late Piccolo, Nuova, and Nail, and it will be pretty tough for these teams.
I think another story for Namek that definitely speaks out is this is probably the most like it's only been 3 weeks, 2 weeks preseason this week. This is probably the most consistent Nuova we've seen in a very long time. He's been
Yeah.
he hasn't been below 55,000 yet. He's been in the 60 to 70 range. It's pretty.
Mm.
I've never seen him this consistent, because he is a B2er, but he's showing some consistency, doing his man and then some.
I think he's hit the scariness that he used to show when he first got introduced into the league.
What everyone feared he'd become again.
Yeah.
Gotcha. I know it's not pure spam for Nuova because we have seen him like melee, but I'm scared because Nuova is like one of the biggest counters to my team.
He
Yeah,
just does a lot.
And has like probably the best ultimate as a B2 with the big spiral doom.
Yeah, he has the best ping attack.
I'd say it's him, PyCon, and Full Power that have the 3 best pings.
I think Aureli's ping is pretty good too.
Well,
Rayleigh's is, but that's just because it's a lot faster.
Well, that and all, but the reason why those 3 are better is because they can go through B2s. Aureli's can't. Yeah, I think most people forget that about Aurelius. Like her ping doesn't go through the B2.
Yeah, but there was some fighting androids. A very strong lineup. We've been talking about Namek a lot. A very strong lineup coming out of them with 19 not being around and Tapion's being really good and has been a really great preseason. But remember, like in the last 2 years, if you saw this lineup, because there wasn't many free agents or good free agents they had. If you saw this lineup they put out, you are scared. Like this is the lineup that you go, damn, this android team.
Outside of like this season, this was their best lineup.
Yeah.
I'd say, like, outside of like this season, most people would not be as scared of Super 17, but would be scared of the other 3. But I'd say in this season, I do agree this is their best. And if everyone will do their damage, it's definitely like, because now Super 17 is actually doing what what everyone thought he'd be doing, I guess.
Yeah, he's definitely had for the few matches he's been in the preseason, he's definitely done his job. In testing, he seemed really scary. He had a rough. He looks like he's gonna have a much better season than past seasons. So we'll see how the androids bounce back for the next matches.
I know kind of talking about Namek a lot, but I have to say they did really shut down Android 17, which most people would say is considering which cell form they use, is Android 17 would be the best character on their team.
Yeah, it's definitely a toss up for some of these because I feel like it's never definitive with them because they have such strong characters. But yeah, he's definitely an impressive character. You don't when you get hit by a 12k B2 not even max power, you're like, wow, I'm fighting 17, aren't I?
Yeah, and what makes it more so for 17 is he's an android, so he can stay in your face and not let you do anything back, while he keeps doing what he wants to do. But I guess shall we get moving on?
Yeah, I'm good to move on. Havok, you're good to move on.
Yep.
All right, moving on. We have our tier list, and the power rankings have returned, and we have the person that made this one here, Havok. If you would like to explain.
So over the preseason, I've been posting it in the Discord and kind of making updates to it. And the result of where everyone was ranked in the preseason is where they were seeded for this week. And then uh, this is the week where everyone started to gain points. So if you won a match, you got 1 point. If you got a divisional win, which there weren't any this week, you would get 2 instead of 1. And then you could get some additional points by beating someone that was higher rank than you or getting an elite. And same with the losing points. If you get a loss, you would lose a point, or if you got a divisional loss, it would be a -2 points. And then if you lose to someone that is lower than you, you will go down an extra point. So at the start of this week, Sentai was the number 1 in the power ranking, and Royals were number 2. But because Royals beat Sentai, they went up 2 points, and Sentai went down 2 points.
Yeah. Oh,
I have a question for the tier list personally. Why is ED -2? Like, why are those teams -2? Supposedly.
Because they lost to someone that was a lower rank than them from the preseason.
Okay, I see.
There was only 2 routes I could go when it came to where everyone was seated. It was either based on Kai, or it was based on results from the preseason.
which
Yeah, that makes sense. What week do you plan on removing from the division and just going off of, the current power rankings? Not divisional, the preseason.
After this week. After this
After
week,
this
this
week?
is
Okay.
this is the order of everything.
this one that's currently showing is the current order of where everyone is. The preseason is just so for week 1 where everyone's like standing.
Yeah, that way I have a place to start from. If that makes sense.
Yeah, makes sense.
Alright. And of course, a lot of other people know Fiora's tier list on the left there. For future weeks, I will be trying to put the power rankings, like both the previous and the current week, in there. It's just very hard to like make them all visible while fitting them at the same time.
Yeah.
But anyway, shall we get moving on to prediction?
Yep, I'm good to move on.
I do want to say though, in Fiora's tier list, the 2 at the bottom are people that you normally would never see down there.
Like ever?
Same with the 2 at the top. Zarbon and Saiyaman are kind of those characters that you never really ever see do too well, but when they do, it's kind of nice to see.
You know what's funny? The very bottom is just they're just Teen Gohan. You know that they have their own special list. There you go.
Those are 2 people that a lot of teams get scared of when they see them in the lineup.
And then also, like, if I've seen the show, which I definitely think you would have if you're here, that Teen Gohan and Cell are kind of like rivals.
They're fighting right now to see who can be called the worst.
Well, that would technically be Teen because he did the lead. Alright. Anyway, let's move on with our predictions, which for week 2 we have the first match being Fujins and Namek, and now we actually have a bench from both teams coming back in as well. Every other team we're going to talk about here, but I don't remember what Bujin's bench. Oh yeah, Bujin's bench Kid Buu and Namek bench Nail. So considering those 2, I'm going to have to say probably we'll give it to Namek, but slight edge because Bujin's still scary.
I would give my prediction to Bujins as well. Bujins have been kind of on top of things as of late, and I don't think Namek is going to bench early for Nail, considering they have divisionals right around the corner.
No, they don't. Fujins do.
Fujins too? When's Namek's divisional?
They're they're
It's
east.
week 4.
They're east. Yeah, they're East Kai, so they're week 4.
Yeah, so they're just about there. But I don't see them bringing out one of their best lineups to deal with Fujins.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like Bujins are gonna take the win here.
All right. Macho.
I would say I'll be the odd man out. I would say Namek will take it.
Oh.
I think. Oh,
Actually,
you said Namek as well.
no, yeah, I said Namek as well, but I
Oh,
give him
okay,
slight edge.
Then I'll 2-1 and give it a Namek because I feel that Namek, as we just saw, dismantled a very strong team. Androids, a team that was very high regarded, and I feel even though you could say yes, Kid Buu is coming back and Nail is coming back, but I think Bujins with the divisional coming up next week, you kind of are forced to sit someone decently important just to get those out of the way, or you'd have to do it later. And Namek, I think even with if they have just Lei over there, can dismantle a very strong team. And you can't usually say that on a week-to-week basis, but Nuova being as consistent as he is, I think there is a chance there. So I'm giving it to Namek.
All right. 2-1 to Namek. Next we have ED and Kaiju, and do you want to disclose what you're going to do for this week? It's completely fine.
Oh, sure. So, me and the boys, we're benching a person who was a rock for a while, but has recently struggled. We're going to be benching Tien this week, which is a very interesting one.
Interesting.
That's very
Yes.
interesting.
Yeah. And now before I give my prediction about that, I want you guys to give yours after hearing that I am benching Tien this week.
So
Well-
Macho, I love you, but I'll be front row at your funeral when you guys get destroyed this week.
I'm gonna be honest. I was probably going to give it to Kaiju as well, because considering you're benching Tien, which I know he struggled, still a solid character. Krillin's coming in, but with Nap coming in, which is around the same power as Turles, and just the explosive power that Kaiju still has, I just think you're kind of not going to live if they want to do what they normally have been doing.
I honestly think it comes down to if Midku is going to ult spam like we've seen him, and if Goku's gonna step up a little bit.
Or if Mid Vegeta does.
You pretty much just need someone to step up to the explosiveness of Bardock, Vegeta, and
Well, if
Gohan.
Bardock starts, I don't think he's beating Krillin.
I don't think Bardock will be starting. Normally,
Yeah.
yeah, which is the main thing. But if
Krillin
Bardock
is our
comes in
starter.
later,
I like the critiques. The critiques are valid.
Mhm.
Krillin starting. This is probably a first for ED, but I am fully on the train. Krillin is by far our best character thus far. In preseason, if consistent 60-65K average, him on a defense +2 with a defense -2, just for some reason works extremely well. Him coming back and with Tien struggling, I think we have one of our stronger rosters coming in here due to Tien struggles, which something is what I wouldn't say because testing Tien was insane. Like I think we eluded Destiny's team Cinema twice in the 2 tests Tien ran. So
I definitely know that one of them was not because of Tien. One of them was because of Mid Vegeta.
Oh yeah.
But anyway.
But yeah, I'd probably give it but with that being said, we're having struggles. I'd probably give it to Kaiju too. They're very explosive, and I feel unless they bench a really important character, which they don't have a divisional until week 6, so there's not much reason to bench. There's not much reason to bench an important character thus far yet. So I think Kaiju definitely can get the upper hand.
I even think even if they do bench like Adult or Scouter, it still isn't gonna be enough without someone like TN to deal with absorbing a lot of their explosive damage.
All right, so 3-0 Kaiju.
Yep.
Let's go ED.
Kaiju's just a scary team this season.
No, yeah, like no flag for your team. Kaiju's are very scary.
Oh, I'm not offended at all. I also voted against myself. So I'm good to move
No.
on from this nightmare, please.
With we have match 3 of Sentai and Rugrats. Rugrats, we have Goten coming back in, and Sentai, we have Birder. Now, if Rugrats brings out fusions, I'd say Sentai has a way better chance of winning this. But if they don't, because they don't have a divisional until week... They don't have a divisional until week 5, that it's just... I don't know, I lost my train of thought about it. I was going to give it to Rugrats.
That just because of bias and I need Rugrats to lose, I'm giving it to Sentai. Just because Birder, for one's coming in, who's been shown to be one of, if not their best character. I doubt they benched Saiyaman this week. They honestly probably either bench Tao or Jiren. And if I had to put my money on it, it'd probably be Jiren that they sit out this week so they can get one of his benches out of the way. And I think that lineup of Birder, Jace, Birder, Jace, Tao, and Saiyaman is strong enough to easily take out Rugrats, especially if they try to go for fusions.
Alright.
I'm gonna go out on a limb here. I'm gonna say I look at every single match that we're gonna talk to ahead of time, and I'm going to say it. I think this match is the hardest to predict this week because I think Sentai has exploded on the preseason scene. We're seeing definitely a new blossom of Sentai, but we're gonna see it. We don't know how far that will take them, so it's kind of hard to predict Sentai on a week-to-week basis. And then Rugrats is probably, with Goten coming back, with Goten and Kid Trunks, is probably one of the most explosive teams in the league. Like, the way those two and all their characters can wrap up damage in a short amount of time is really absurd. So this is an incredibly impossible match to predict, in my opinion. Analyzing those teams at that, but I'll give the edge to Rugrats. I think Rugrats take these with their explosivity. Well, Sentai is definitely very scary, and look out if you're gonna face them anytime this season.
So, what is it? 2-1 to Sentai?
I think
Believe
yeah.
so.
I think I was only Rugrats. Yep.
Okay, so moving on, we have Hybrids and Muscle with Ultimate Gohan and 13 coming back in.
Those are two characters.
Those are two of their strongest characters.
I think those two are their strongest characters. It's just
that's a tough one to call.
I was about to say probably Hybrids, and then I realized, so wait, 13's coming in. But I feel like if Muscle is going to bench anyone, it's probably either going to be Garlic or Devilman.
They have a divisional next week, so it's probably going to be one of their strongers, maybe. Stronger.
Probably gonna be BoJack that they sit out this week.
Who,
Yeah.
either BoJack or Trunks. Yeah, completely. I forgot their North guy. And hybrids. Hybrids are in Yorkai, correct? Havok.
Yes.
All right. I'm gonna have to give it the slight edge to hybrids, just because I think a lot more of their team has been performing while like people like Garlic and Devilman have been struggling on muscle. And this is definitely not a team that Devilmight Bean can like one shot either. Like also damage from one shot. But I'm just going to give the slight edge to hybrids.
I think I'd give the slight edge to hybrids as well. From Budokai's track record with muscle, Nam kind of just gets destroyed by a lot of their characters. But that's normally us fighting into either a Bojack, Broly, Adult Trunks, or a 13 Broly Bojack.
I feel like Nam is probably Hybrid's bench, to be honest.
Yeah, if they bench Nam, I think they have a very strong chance to win, and it's most likely going to be a win for them. But I think if they try to bring Nam in, depending on if Muscle benches Devilman or if they bench Bojack, I think Muscle wins.
Okay.
Very interesting. I took a time because I had been contemplating it because you can never doubt the volatility of 13. Like if 13 chooses to, he gets an elite. Like yeah, one of the most volatile characters just getting I'll do 90k or 100k or go elite this week.
I'll just do a late Piccolo.
I feel like Lake Piccolo is more of a consistent damage. Like he always does like high amounts but never gets too elite. I feel like 13 has volatility where he either does 40k or he does 100k.
Oh.
So
I meant in terms of like late Piccolo elites are like normally pretty high.
oh yeah. But I'd probably give the hybrids too, to be honest.
Alright.
I think they have less to losing this match, and it's very dangerous when you have nothing to lose. So go hybrids.
Well, 3-0 to hybrids. Moving on to match 5, we have Royals and Cinema. I'm probably going to do mine last, but I will say I can definitely tell you who we're bringing in. We are benching Broly and PyCon's coming back in.
Very interesting.
So,
Havok, what would you say about the match?
Let's see. Who are Royals bringing in this week? It's
KV.
Oh yeah, King Vegeta, their trade. So, loan. I still think Royals are gonna just take it this week. Royals are a very tough team, and if you're not prepared to bring your absolute best lineup to them, there's a big chance that they will just sweep you.
I'm also going Royals. I think Royals use Cinema as an important team to beat. I don't know why. But I feel both Royals defending, of course, and Cinema being an emerging team. I think Royals will not go that easy on you, which means it's gonna be rough because a very interesting mechanic about Royals characters is that with King Vegeta coming in, they have a Slug and him. They slow the match down. You know, they're the defense. They slow down the pace, and then they have just I'm going to kill your character in a minute, and that's like with Majin Vegeta and Dabura, Dabura, consistent Dabura, obviously. But
Metakiller's defense capabilities also slow down the match quite a bit.
Yeah, isn't he's FA, isn't he?
No,
Isn't he?
Oh.
Metakiller was in last week.
Oh, he was. Oh,
Tam's their FA.
Yes. The good old man. But yeah, I'll give it to Royals.
With this, it's like I want to vote my own team, but like it's very dependent on who they actually bench, and I don't know if they're going to bench either Dabura or Majin Vegeta, so I'm going to have to give it to Royals. But I will say, Royals tested against my team a bunch, and from a lot of the testing, it was Dabura is the one that gives us the most trouble. So if he's in, my team has a bigger chance. or no, if he's out, my team has a bigger chance of winning. But
All right, so
3-0 to
3-0.
Royals. Which,
I think
mean-
I think this is gonna be a common trend for the people on this cast.
I mean, Royals
I know
are
where I'm
kind
going.
of the #1 team in the league right now.
they're so good. Like people were actually predicting them. People were actually considering would they bench Macho and Vegeta for Tam. Like Royals is that one team. It's like everyone's good. What happens? But
Yeah,
anyway,
they definitely got a sneaky free agent with Tambourine.
mhm.
So it's interesting how they'll decide to work that over in the rest of the season. Yep, Royals 3-0. I'm good to move on.
All right, moving on. We have GT and RW with Majub coming in for RW and Baby coming in for GT. I don't, because neither of these have a divisional like the following week, so I don't think they're going to be benching their stronger ones unless they want to, of course. But if GT brings their A game, I definitely think that with how Sin and GT Goku have been performing better lately, that GT can take this.
I mean, they're guaranteed bringing in one of their better characters. I wouldn't
Mhm.
call it Baby their best, but he's definitely like top 2, top 3.
Mhm.
So he can kind of replace just about anyone that they brought against Rugrats and keep that same sort of power level. And I don't think RW can really deal with that too well, even though they're bringing in Maju.
RW does have a divisional the following week.
Oh,
Yeah.
no, okay, yeah.
Uh,
I thought they were
Yeah,
just Sky.
so I definitely am giving it to GT on this one.
Alright.
RW has a divisional next week. I think GT, the way their team is looking, I think it's a very different, better GT than previous seasons because Super Saiyan 4 was always the Vegeta we went, man, it's a Vegeta. But I don't think it does that well. But he's showing that he can definitely make a mark now. Sin is probably the best defensive character in the league. And with Baby Vegeta coming back in, who is a very strong character in his own right, I think GT actually pulls this out. So
Alright, so that's 3 for GT, and I actually want to say I think Sin got even better with getting the Omega transformation.
Yeah.
Because even without Omega, he was always on defense, but now he's just better.
Yep.
Okay, moving on, we have Androids and Budokai, and Havok, do you want to disclose what you are going to bring?
So I don't think it's a shock to anyone, but Vegito is out this week, and Videl is in this week.
Alright. Well, considering that, and that androids are bringing back in... Oh, and androids are bringing Taphyon. I think... This is a really hard one, actually. I think your team can take it, but if Videl gets placed for... If Harudegarn comes out and Videl gets somehow placed versus Harudegarn, and they don't end up clashing, I think that's going to be very hard to overcome.
I guess I'll go next. I am not of the precognition that this is a close match. I think Androids destroys this match. I don't think it's gonna be close. Androids with the 5 they have now is just a bunch of characters that deal an insane amount of damage over a short of time. And with Budokai and how their team's structured, I feel they struggle against teams like that. And Vegito being out, that's a really strong character you're putting out. So I don't think with androids having such a consistent 5, I don't think you have a match for that. You don't have a match for that power coming in since they never have true weakness. So I think androids are taking it. What about you, Havok? What do you think?
I personally think it comes down to who they start with. If especially because we've tested a lot against the androids and done quite a bit of 4v4 testing against them, and a lot of what our matches have come down to is, does Yamcha start versus versus Cell? And if that answer is yes, androids normally just kind of take that momentum and sweep. But if it's anyone else but Cell, Yamcha kind of sweeps through until he gets to Cell.
Alright.
So it could go. It all, to me, it all just depends on who
You think
is
Yamcha
the starter.
sweeps through 16?
He has before.
Interesting.
I
I don't know if it's the same build. I'd have to go back through the test to confirm that, but he has swept through 16 and 17 before.
Interesting. Well, if there's one thing I can't count on as a former Budokai coach, it's Yamcha's consistency. So.
Yeah, you know the pain as much as I do.
I mean, 16 is one for a lot of consistency either. So, if he somehow finds his way through 16,
So is that a 2-1 Budokai? Or
pretty sure that's pretty sure that's 2-1 Budokai.
wow,
I will say it should be a pretty close match.
I think it's gonna be close, and also based on if Videl gets her to Hurugan or not. If she doesn't, I think she can definitely do some things.
Matchups definitely seem like they're gonna come into play the most in this match out of any other match.
Alright.
I think that's just Budokai in general because of the way their team's structured.
Yeah.
Alright, well. Moving on, we have our last match of that week, which is pretty funny because it's the old fight for third place, I guess. Dirt versus Cold. And I think with how Cold's been performing, I think I'll give it to them. But I wouldn't knock Derp. I think it will be close, even with if Cold does launch ults. Because like the explosive power Hercule and the way that Salza and everyone else can like slow down a match.
I feel like this is gonna go straight to Cold. Cold is gonna get the dub because they were able to pretty handily dismantle all of Muscle with just 3 characters. And I don't like, there are people on Derp that have that same volatility that like Bojack has and stuff, but I don't, with third divisional coming up in a couple weeks, I don't see them keeping in Herc, Supreme Kai, and Dodoria. They're definitely got to bench one of them. Oh, they can't bench Supreme Kai because he's the one coming in this week.
Yep.
So yeah, they have to bench one of their 2 best characters, Dodoria or Herc. Or Salza. So my point's going to Cold on this one.
Cold Kingdom versus mostly Cold Kingdom. I actually will give it to Derp. I think I feel like something Cold is really good with is being able to outmatch characters. I feel like character-wise, if you like go like, oh, Frieza's versus someone or King Cold, usually you see those characters. They have a bunch of characters that usually take their man and then some. I feel like that's a big theme about Cold. But I think they don't have an insane. They have Mecha coming in, which helps, but I don't think they have an insane damage output. So I think there's a lot of like characters on Derp, like Supreme Kai, Salza, Dodoria, who prefer a match as it's slowed down. So without too many wall breakers on Cold Kingdom sides, I think Derp can actually pull it out.
That is 2-1 to Cold. And with that, we've come to the end of the cast. So please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that noti bell if you have enjoyed it. Comment down below for improvements or just what you liked, what you didn't. And don't forget to check out the links to the Discord website and Twitter and our TikTok down below. The Discord, you can come join us. maybe join some teams like these two, for example, ED and Budokai. But with that, I've been your host, Destiny. Yeah. These have been my guests. Why don't you speak?
Speak. Havok, speak.
Hello.
It's always a pleasure to be on here.
Yeah.
Same.
And with that, we shall be seeing you next time. Bye bye.